it's an honor to have Jason Nemes here, a well-known and inspiring fitness and business coach. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. Excited to be here, man.
Brilliant. It's great to have you here. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your background and your profession?
Yeah, so my background, I'm from Dallas, Texas. I do come from parents that split up when I was young. However, and I still thank them to this day, actually. I make sure that they know how appreciative I am, but they never used me against the others. So they co-parented very well. My dad was always there to pick me up, and I never saw them argue, which was a wonderful thing. So even though, it was a split household, I still got to see both parents often. And so I have a business economics degree from the University of North Texas. I went back to school. I was very in and out of community college and just trying to kind of figure my way. And I ended up in a sales job from when I was 21 to 23. I did very well with that career. Actually, it was door knocking, but we did very well. And I learned a lot door knocking, and we did very well, and then we didn't. So then I decided to get back in school, and that's when I got my the bachelor's with the economics degree in the business school. So when I graduated, I was 27, and I got into the corporate world. And while I was in college, I bartended, and I made around $4,000 to $5,000 a month, which I mean, that's when you look at the average household income, which is two people. In the United States, it's like around $58,000 a year now. So just under $30,000 a year per person. So, $4,000 to $5,000 a month. And that was some years ago. I don't know, 10 to 12 years ago. And so the average income was even less than. So yeah, $4,000 to $5,000 a month was pretty good. And I get to the corporate job. I'm making $2,000 a month after taxes, and kind of trying to figure life out, what to do. It's like I graduated college. I did what I thought was the correct path of what you're supposed to do and the path you're supposed to take. And it just didn't go the way that I anticipated, and I wasn't happy where I was. And I ran into a buddy of mine that offered me that had brought up an entrepreneurial style career, I should say. And at that point, I was a hard no, because it was in the network marketing space, and I won't say the name of the company. It's not really relevant. It's just that industry. I had a certain perception about it, which I was very wrong. I didn't take the time to truly understand. Excuse me. Our brains, we are wired where anything that is out of the norm or we don't understand, it's an automatic no thank you, and we're not even open to possibility of what that could entail. And so I ran into my buddy. So I was in the corporate world for a few months, and I always say, if you're in the corporate world and you love what you do and you do well, or even if you don't do well per se, but you love what you do, and you wake up and you have peace of mind, that you're more rich than somebody who has the money and hates their life. And I believe that firmly. And so I ran into my buddy April 4th, 2013. And he was the gentleman that introduced me to the opportunity that I continued to tell him no over the years. And part of why I told him no is because I knew my path. I was going to go to school. I was going to get the degree and get into the corporate world, and things would be great. So now when I run into him, I went to school, I got the degree, I have the job, but I'm still not fulfilled. Like, that is not the answer to what I thought. It's not what I thought it was going to be. So now when I run into him, I was way more open to possibility of what he had. But so the next day, we kind of talked a little bit more, and I tried the product that he's affiliated with, and it was phenomenal. And I loved it. And so I was like, you know what, maybe this is the real deal, because he had a very large house, a 10,000 square foot house.
All
He
right.
had multiple six-figure cars in the garage. Mind
Yeah.
you, I knew him for years. So
Yeah.
I was able to see what he was able to accomplish.
Yeah.
And now I was a little hesitant to believe that it was all from what he told me. I'm like, are you doing something maybe not legal to get all of this? Like, how
Yeah.
did you build that kind of business within the business? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I tried the products. I fell in love. I got great results on the products. I dropped lots of, well, not lots of weight, but 17 pounds in my first 18 days, which wasn't
Mm.
typical, but it's possible. And I made a decent amount of money. I made $1,100 in my first 18 days. And remember, I'm making
Yeah.
$2,000 a month at my corporate job, working
Mm.
60 hours a week. And here I am on my phone, made $1,100. I'm like, okay, well, we've got something here.
Yeah.
And then I went from living in my buddy's living room to having a seven-figure business in 3 years, and I just continued to grow it. And life has been incredible, and I've navigated to some other things as well, and
Mhm.
speaking and writing the best-selling book. And I love helping people,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like. But my main passion is health and fitness, and then
Yeah.
of course the whole mindset and personal development, because it played such a huge role in my life. That's a huge passion of mine too. Uh,
Yeah.
the best investment you'll ever make is yourself. So that's health and
100%.
wellness. That's taking care of your body and taking care of your mind, because your mind's a muscle.
100%. Would you regret and see yourself there earlier than the normal path you took?
So I get asked that question a lot, and I truly believe that God has a plan for us. And I truly believe that
100%.
things don't happen by accident. And
Yeah.
I take a look, and I get asked that question a lot. So I'm like, well, would I have regretted it? So I start to play different scenarios in my mind. And so one of the scenarios is, I said no to the opportunity and I went to school.
Yeah.
Now, what if I flipped that? What if I went to the opportunity first?
Yeah.
And I because I hadn't gone to school, and in my mind, that's what I wanted to do. Now looking back, if I did it the opposite way,
Yeah.
and I started with that business with the entrepreneurial journey, and
Mhm.
something went wrong, I probably would have quit immediately and then went to school thinking that was the answer, and then entered into the corporate world.
Yeah.
And I just don't, to me, again, this is just my perspective,
Mm.
being able to create something on your own is much better than being in a corporate job.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it is a trap. When you're in a corporate job, you only get a raise when they say that you're good enough to get the raise. With something that I do, you create your income. You truly
Yeah.
get to earn what you're worth.
Mm.
It's not about somebody saying that you're worth it and you get a promotion.
Yeah.
It's the marketing plan that you're a part of is set up in a sense where you hit the numbers and you get the promotion, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I've been able to make multiple seven figures in the business over the years. And dude, I don't know a lot of people that are just doing anywhere near that in such a short amount of time with a corporate job. And again, there's always exceptions. And if you love what you do and you have that peace of mind, then you're good, you're winning, because most people don't.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. So, in terms of what do you do particularly the last days, what has been the biggest game changer for that in the past year?
The biggest game changer, I would have to say, is the woman that I chose.
Okay.
One of the biggest distractions in my life has been women.
All right.
I would always be chasing women on dating apps, swiping, spending so much time on those kinds of things. And my mentors would always tell me, Jason, like, you have got to stop that. Focus on your career, focus on hitting certain levels. And that was the one thing that I wouldn't listen. And the one thing that is the hardest for you to let go of, if you're able to let go of that thing, that's where you have the biggest explosion in growth
Explosion.
and in success. And so I was actually very hesitant with the
Mm-hmm.
woman that I'm that's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I had not so great of a relationship beforehand, which I won't go on in details because that doesn't matter.
Of
But
course.
I
Yeah.
was very hesitant, and she kept around, and she's a very successful real estate agent. She absolutely crushes it, and
Mm.
she stuck around, and she brings out the best of me. She makes me want to be a better man and do better and be better, and just show up better in all aspects. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would say that has been the biggest shift for me over the past year,
Okay.
because now I'm just it took me to a different level of maturity.
All right. I see.
Yeah.
Did that, let's say, how long did it take you to say, you know what, fuck that, and let's focus on my career?
I had some girlfriends like in and out. The
Uh,
first one, not great. And usually it was because of me, because I was still being a dog and I was still
right.
chasing women even though I had somebody. But that just means that it wasn't the person for me because she didn't capture my attention in the way that it needed to be done, or
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready and I was making an immature decision by having a girlfriend.
Mm.
So my I would say 35, because the woman that I was dating before the current one,
Yeah.
uh I mean, I was 100% faithful and I gave that relationship my all. Unfortunately, it
Yeah.
didn't work out. And I got to a place where I kind of started going back down that path of being on the apps, going on multiple dates, just spending lots of time with
Mm.
different women versus being focused on career.
Yeah.
And I started to slow it down a little bit. And then yeah, we met March of last year, and I didn't fully I wouldn't call her my girlfriend until November of last
Yeah.
year. So yeah, but I mean it's been incredible, man. And it just we're long distance, but it's cool because we'll see each other every couple of weeks for 5 or 6 days,
Mm.
and we're both just so focused on our careers. Like I'm not going out.
Yeah.
I stay home. I hang out with my puppies. I'm focused. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I'm constantly reading and bettering myself and working on mastering my craft. And
Mm.
that's just it's such a pivotal moment when a man decides to be with
Yeah.
one woman or nobody, right? And focus on being your best self and not putting all of your energy out doing that. Because, and I think it's Napoleon Hill that talks about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Napoleon Hill, but he talks about transmutation of sexual energy, because a man's sexual energy is like the highest form of energy within humans, is what he says.
Yeah.
And the men in history that are able to transmute the sexual energy into being productive have had the most fortunes of anybody, for
Okay,
the
that's
most part.
interesting.
For the most part, again, there's always
Yeah.
exceptions, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. I understand what you mean. So let's go to what you do specifically. Is there a question that you get asked most often about your business?
Well, I have a few businesses now, but the
Mm-hmm.
main one, people just they don't understand how you can make so much money in a network marketing business. They don't get
Yeah.
it.
All
They
right.
call it a scam, it's this, it's that. I'm like, I used to say the same shit. I get it. But if you're willing to open your mind and erase everything you've heard from people that aren't actually educated in the field,
Yeah.
like stop listening to people that don't know what they're talking about and
Mm.
listen to somebody who tried multiple companies in the industry, didn't have success. That was part of why he wouldn't get back in, and then found one that actually fit him and he was ready to take it on. And I mean,
Mm.
I was making 6 figures in my third year.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
see. It makes sense. Is
You
there
see
a
what I
piece of
mean?
advice that you would give to your younger self in the early years specifically?
Yeah. Don't chase women. Stop being
Come back
such a
to that.
playboy.
I see.
Put your head down and freaking grind, because
Yeah.
you'll be 40 before you know it. Man, I'll be 39 in a month.
Okay.
And I started in entrepreneurship at 27.
Mm.
And right when I would start doing this, because I'm putting all my energy into this, then I would go back to old habits, and then those old habits would bring me right back down.
Yeah.
And it's this constant cycle. And another thing, actually, I would say this would probably, I would hold it a little bit higher than the not chasing women, because I still made really good money even though I was chasing women.
Yeah.
What I would say is be smart with the money that you make.
Yeah.
Don't go buy all the bullshit. Like, I never had the Gucci, the Louis. I come from middle class,
Yeah.
not poor by any means, not rich. And I went to a pretty rich high school where everybody had the stuff, and I just like, that is what I wanted so bad. So when all this money starts rolling in, I'm making all this money, I'm spending it just as fast as I'm making it on things that are gonna have me lose money. And traveling like crazy, always flying first class, which I still believe in flying first class, because conversations are different up there and you never know who you're gonna meet.
Yeah.
And there's something about being comfortable. So
True.
and it's a write-off when it's for business. So I'm not necessarily against that, but just unnecessary spending, eating out all the time in really expensive restaurants, buying a bunch of unnecessary things. Like, if you make multiple 7 figures over call it 10 years, there is no reason that you shouldn't have multiple assets that are producing cash flow where you can go buy all the bullshit. You never want to spend what you make with your main source of income on the bullshit. The main source of income, the money you get from that, should be spread out into investments that make you money, and you can use that money to go buy the bullshit. That is the number one thing that I would say that I would do differently, that I've learned. Don't rack up a bunch of debt, credit card debt. Like, be smart with your money. Have your money be a slave for you. Your money should be making you money. Period. End of story. That's it.
I see. It makes sense. Many people don't understand it. Just as you said previously, they get it, spend it, get it, spend it, and it's a cycle that never ends, really, and you stay poor forever, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So into the bonus section, let's say I'll say a word or a phrase, and you must reply with the first thought that comes to your mind. Make sense?
Right. It makes sense, yeah.
Kids, let's see. It's fun. Fitness.
Health.
Health. Business coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contribution.
All right. Respect and standards.
Excellence.
Winner's mindset.
Excellence.
Transformation.
Control.
And consistency.
Discipline.
I see. Why do you think is consistency with discipline?
Because it's a great question, and a lot of people mess this up. If you so I write about this in my book. Motivation and inspiration, they don't last. It is like an emotion, right? It's a type of feeling that you're feeling. You go to an event, a mastermind, a conference, church, whatever it is that gets you feeling in that way.
Yeah.
You feel great at that time, in those moments, right?
True.
But more than not, you're not going to want to do something.
100%.
You're gonna wake up, it's cold, it's raining, it's snowing, I don't feel good, I don't feel like it, right? So if your consistency and discipline go together, because discipline says, no matter what, no matter how I feel, no matter the weather, I have a specific goal that I want to reach by this time, and the only way that I'm gonna get there is through consistency. That means day in and day out, doesn't matter. Discipline
Mm.
says, no matter what, I'm doing it. That's it.
Yeah.
So in order for that to happen, you got to be consistent.
I see. It makes sense. Any last words from Jason Nemes before we
Yeah,
close the pod?
anybody can make shit happen in this life. Now, we got to be realistic in a sense. And what I mean by that is the chances of making the NBA or the NFL, if you're like 5'5", 130 pounds, it's very unlikely, right? So we got to be real with ourselves about certain things. If you're not a great singer, chances are you're not going to be a huge star in that world. But
100%.
yeah, but you can make it happen. I wanted to say you got to find what you like to do, but sometimes you got to do shit you don't like to do to have the life that you want. So I would say find something that you will commit to and go all in, and don't quit, don't give up, push through the haters. No matter what you do, you're gonna have haters. I had all the haters, my friends, my family. They all said that I was making a mistake. I mean, you can go on and on about haters, but yeah, figure out what you want to do, be consistent with it, give it your all, and never give up. Don't let other people's opinions of something become your reality, especially people that you wouldn't trade places with in life. If you want to trade places with them, don't take their damn advice about shit.
100%. I agree with that so much. Thank you for being here, Jason.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Brilliant. And that was Jason Nemes, ladies and gentlemen.